Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap P.O.D. Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike Money's killers might even make the evening news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Sports Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? Let's go. It's Last Call. Here we go. Pub Sports Radio, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You already know Pub Sports Radio. Let's get after this cash. Shout out to everybody that tailed me on that Seattle first half game out there. We got that one in the books before the show even popped off. We're winning, baby. Let's go. It's going to be a day. I'm fired up. I'm excited about this card here. Small NHL card. We've only got ourselves 2 games, but we've got 2 plays in the NHL. We're going to lay out some college basketball, and then we bring on LJ from Goat Town to come out the Last Call, our resident on Wednesday nights, to help us navigate the hardwood and get that cash in the association. You know what LJ does. He does props. He does sides. He does totals. He rolls it all up to a big card and big cash. So I'm excited to work with LJ tonight to get it done. Shout out to our guy, Billy Briz. Speaking of residents here and our experts, great card from Billy Briz last night. Got that cash. Even his leans were cashing. Man, that guy was firing magic last night. I told you, the ninja of the hardwood out there, our guy, Billy Briz. It was fantastic to watch the evening unfold and get that cash. It was just a monster day yesterday. Hey, speaking of, we went 8-3 there. That was a big day for us. I'm excited about where we're headed here as we get ready. We're just one day away. Opening day is right around the corner. And look, I already started on my Major League regular season 2-0. It's going to be a great baseball season this year, but can't wait to get there. We got work to do today. You guys already know the deal. Tomorrow's then, but today we have the opportunity to build these bankrolls and take advantage of these soft numbers, and plenty of soft numbers there are here. We've got a monster NBA card. I believe it's a 14-game slate. Don't hold me accountable there. It could be 12. I didn't know there was going to be math here today, but I'm ready to attack. I took a little longer on the NBA card today than maybe in past. Just wanted to make sure that everything lined up, all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed, and in that they are. So I'm excited about that, guys. If you're just getting in here, smash the thumbs up for us. Man, we're winning. We're cooking these books. We need you guys to show the support and appreciation by way of the thumbs up button. If you're just getting out of work, you're trying to figure out, hey, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? What are we going to have for cocktails here? It's hump day. We deserve a cocktail. Then you go figure that out. Let us get to where you're going to put your money tonight when it comes to the sports card and stack that cash. We're going to stack it high tonight. Let it fly. I'm excited to go over the entirety of the card with you guys here. I was just doing a refresh there. Love to see what's happening with that first half of that Seattle game, and what a pleasant refresh it was right before the show started. So, and shout out to my guy C-Mac. I know he got that first half under. Jimmy the Bag cashed that first half under. We're rolling, baby. Nobody can hold Pub Sports Radio down right now. Can't wait out there, guys. 3 things we ask you to do when it comes to this show and Last Call with Pub Sports Radio. Hit the thumbs up button, show the support. Number 1. Number 2, you're going to want to grab a pen and paper, not just for the panel shows here, not the panel picks here with LJ, of course, but with everybody that's out there in the chat. Our community is getting sharper by the day. And you love to see it. It's just a fun thing to watch. The messages going back and forth. What about this? What about that? Did you look at this angle? I love it. I love everything that we're building here together collectively. So you're going to want to jot them notes down for the game there. And even some of the takeaways as the crew shares their formulas of how they came with those games, so that maybe you can apply it in the future when we don't have shows. That being said, of course, the last thing we need you to do, please share your plays in the chat. We want to recognize you guys as much as what we're doing on the regular here. Everyone's working with the same goal in mind. We're all looking at the same scoreboard, and it's all that bookies cash. We got to move it over to our pockets, out of their pockets, and we're going to do it together one day at a time, one bet at a time, one play at a time to get that money out there. Let's see what's doing up in this chat, and then let's get ready to attack the board. Look at these members galore. We got new members renewing. Johnny Guns, Jay Peasy, and Joey, the Dap Cap out there. I believe that's our guy, the Dapper Capper. And then there's my guy, Joe T. First guy in the chat, sharing his comments, giving his first play of the day out there. Look what we got here, huh? Guys coming in. Can't wait to see what they have to say. I love logging in and seeing plays out there already. It gives me the opportunity to say, hey, did I get on that yet or not? And I did not, but I am going to tail my guy, Joe T here. Today, he's got the best bet with the Bruins and Tampa Bay. The first period over 1.5. Modest juice at minus 125. But look at these numbers. 9-1 in the last 10 to the over. 5-5 to the last 10 to the over, I believe, for the full game. So nice looking spot there from our guy, Joe T, in that Boston and Tampa game. You know we're going to be talking about that game. We've got a nice side in that spot. Love the opportunity to get in there. And there's Gerald Jones says, evening, pub fan. Best bet for our guy, Gerald Jones, San Antonio and Utah. First half, he's going with the over 111 in the first half of the San Antonio game. We're going to be talking about all of the NBA games today. That certainly is one of them on the list. And there's our guy, Old Heat. Says, what up, you filthy animals? Wine Time Sports in the house says, let's get this money, Mikey. Wine Time, it's great to see you in here. Justin McCalvey says, what's good, Justin? Hope all is well with you, my guy. I know some things popping off there in the personal life. And, thoughts with you, my guy. Appreciate you rocking with us, hanging out, getting it done. Rude Boy's in the house says, what up, Mikey, baby? Good call in that first half. Oh, man, Rude Boy. Boy, it was like a sweat-free spot out there. Let's hope they can hold on and get that full game cash for us as well. Talk Sports with JT's in the house. There's Mr. Vape says, what's going on, fellas? 2-0 to start the day. The Maccabee double result. Biggest bet of the day in Seattle first half. Shout out to you, Mr. Vape. Oldie giving Wine Time the shout out as well. And there's our guy, Juggler 23. The wise guy overnight plays. The Magic minus 3.5. The Knicks minus 12.5. And the Clippers minus 5.5. 59% spread number on the season year to date. And that is profitability right there, my guy, Juggler 23. We appreciate you. Always coming in there, sharing your looks, your ways that you want to attack the books, baby. Let's go. Let's get it done. Justin says, yes, sir. First half. Let's go. And there's Coin. He says, what up, Mike in chat? Let's have a Wednesday. Likes the under 151 in that high point game. Says, looks beautiful after 30 minutes. We're on our way. I know our guy, Razor Sharp, was endorsing it as well. Love to work together and smack it. Doesn't matter how we're attacking. We're smacking, baby. Let's go get it done. Wine Time giving Old E the shout out. There's our guy, North Ender. North Ender, it's great to see you here, my guy. It says, great start to this under. Let's eat. Perky Bumps in the house there. Our resident professional Olympic downhill skier, Perky Bumps Sanderson, likes that second half. He's going to go under 77.5 in that Seattle game. He's pressing, baby. Press him up, Perky. Good luck to you. Be happy to root that along. Paul and Boats in the house. Good to see my guy, Paul and Boats. Let's get it done. He says, smash the like button. Of course. Let's go. Perky giving the shout out there. Says second half under 77.5. No way. This exceeds a plus 20 differential. Love to see those live lines when they line up like that. Don't you, Perky? Isn't that a lot of fun to see? Like, when you put the math together, you say, wait a minute. What? They're going to bust this thing out and go over in the They haven't done it. The defense with Seattle's locking everybody down all postseason, and now they're going to do it? Now it's going to happen? Get your money, my guys. Let's go. Wine Time Sports has already had my MLB play locked in for tomorrow. Well, you are way ahead of me then, Wine Time Sports. Way ahead. I usually need I'm not one of those guys that says, hey, I need to see 2-3 weeks before. It's 2-3 months. You hear guys talk about this all the time. Can't wait for baseball season. Can't wait for baseball season. Well, first of all, goofball, there's March Madness rolling. There's all kinds of conference tournaments. Hockey and the NBA are heating up. You can't wait for baseball. Then baseball gets here, and guess what they say? Well, I need 2 months to be able to start to make baseball plays and making them. All right, go fuck yourselves. There we go. We're past 8 minutes. We're going to jump in on the baseball season. We're not waiting, but we want to make sure that they are calculated risks in the first week or so. After we get through that second series, I believe we'll have enough data to start incorporating the trends and all the other analysis that has been so successful for us this year. Let's go. Talk Sports with JT says Arizona first half minus 3.5. UNC minus 4, giving us tomorrow's college basketball plays. I'm excited for the tournament to resume here. I know there's been games going on yesterday and today. We're getting that cash as well, but nothing quite beats the big dance, does it? Let's go. The Futon Bets in the house says Clint Capella, double-double. Wemby, double-double. LeBron, double-double. Man, futon bets. You have to parlay all those together too, my guy. I mean, shit. I know our guy Penny Bombs there. Not only does he like to climb fences, he loves to do the double-double, triple-double parlays for a couple of bucks and come up with big scores. I know. Wasn't he on that back-to-back spot where he cashed out like $1,500 2 days in a row with the double-double spots? That's immediately what I thought of when I saw those plays, futon bets. Good on you, my guy. Good luck to you. And we've got ourselves a player prop parlay tonight. It's just a smidge under 6-1 to get that player prop. It's a 3-legger tonight. I'm excited to share that with you guys. Perky Bump says, weather will impact opening day tomorrow. Don't get your bets caught up. Watch the pregame weather. It's a great point out there, Perky. Absolutely, especially this time of year with these teams in the Northeast. Rain. Guess what? It's rain with a side of rain, and there's rain on the horizon. So get ready for all of that. That could compromise the pitching rotations and everything else that goes along with it. Kelsey in the house is Mikey 3-0 yesterday. Thanks in part to you, Kelsey. So happy to have you in the community. Cashing bets with us. I saw that. How about that, right? Montreal plus 1.5 spot there. Getting her done. Jojo Rabbit says, what's up, everybody? Mike Wilkerson in the house says, who has a team total over lock out there? I mean, you put a lock in a sock, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what else to roll with there, my guy. But we'll see what we come up with tonight. Kelsey's giving Wine Time the shout out. Pub Sports Radio, our guy T holding it down on the ones and twos, keeping it tight and right, and a well-oiled machine that this show is. We got a lot to cover, a little time to do it, and nobody's more crucial to the effort and the role here than our guy T on the ones and twos. Enjoyed hanging out with my guy here this past weekend, and we'll do it again soon. I know that. So let's go. Gerald Jones says Toronto Raps team total under 99. Trying to cash that team under for the 5th straight time. Love the Raptors team total. I'll tell you what, they've been such a poor scoring team. I see them and I automatically think under. So like to look, Gerald Jones. Kelsey says, I smashed the like button too. That a girl. Let's go out there. JPZ in the house says, what up? What up, JPZ, our guy? Perky Bumps giving Jojo Rabbit the shout out. Says, indeed, brother. Can and will change starting pitchers with no void. Got to keep an eye out there. Yeah, we'll talk more about some of the philosophy of the betting aspects in Major League Baseball, but the action versus live spots or action versus listed, I guess, is the way to talk about Major League Baseball when it comes to pitching scratches and rotation. So Gonzo's in the house. Says, what's up, everyone? Crushed it yesterday. Thanks to the last call. Love it. Great to see that, my guy. Gonzo in the house. Mike Wilkerson says, Raps team total under Jarrell. Yeah, that sounds like that's the, shit. I'll talk about some numbers when we get to that game, but that makes a lot of sense to me. Con Clip says, Mikey, I moved on. Okay. Over 11.5 points. I got it. I was looking at like a spot on my screen, but somehow you got the, little, what do they call that thing there? A little squiggly tail on the bottom of the C, for lack of a better term. Wine Time giving the shout out. Rude Boy in the house is Orlando minus 4.5 out there. Like that magic spot. We'll talk about it. I'm going to attack a total in that game. North Enders has got CLB in all 3 NBA bets. I'll report the results. I'm betting with the bag tomorrow. Let's go. Swiss as we be pubbing. Talk Sports with JT in the house. And there's Ricky Levine gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership, my guy, Ricky Levine. So important to have you here on the regular, my guy. Helping us build the community on top of it with a gifted membership. That's so awesome. Thank you, Ricky Levine, for being a part of what we're building here. Oh, so special. And it's special because of guys like you and girls that believe in us, coming in on the regular day by day and helping us grow. You give us your looks, you give us your time. You're giving us some of your cash here by way of going and growing this membership base that we have here with Pub Sports Radio. Shout out to you, Ricky Levine. Let's go. Con Clips has also moved on Cleveland in the first half. The Joker triple-double. Denver win plus 240 spot out there. Yeah, Justin, you are in our thoughts, my guy. We appreciate you and always being here on the regular, giving us your looks, the stacks POD when they're out there and everything else. So we appreciate you, my guy. North Ender says, Clips minus 5.5, Bulls plus 3, Jazz minus 3.5. There we go. That's how we roll. JPZ says, Mr. Vape, he parlayed with the Seattle money. Still sweating it there, but we'll see what happens, guys. Keep me abreast of that second half. Want to see the numbers. And there's our guy, Winner Circle, says, hey, yo, he's got the Desmond Bain over 18.5 points and Brunson over 6.5 assists in the player prop market. And I love when you got a big NBA card like this because there's just so many ways to get that cash. And love to see that, Winner Circle. Thank you for sharing. J Smooth 16, helping everybody keep them smooth. You got to keep them smooth. And he's doing his part to help everybody there. He says the smooth balls play of the day, the Golden State Warriors plus 4.5. Let's roll on there, Kongs Clips. Wine Time Sports giving each other some shout outs. North Ender says, according to CLB, it looks good, Wine Time. Let's see how it works out. Joe T says, my MLB best bet got postponed tomorrow. Shit, there's already postponements? I didn't even see it. I got to go back and take a look. Perky's talking about the weather. Kong Clip says, Jay Peasy, if you didn't know, guy got them bars. Like Zan. Yeah, he does, man. Was privileged to see it in person with none other than our show co-host today in LJ from H-Town. Perky's live betting High Point, though. Perky, it just took the momentum. You took the wind right out of my sail. My boat's just floating in the harbor now, Perky. Come on. Let's go. Jay Stone says, I'm going to need you bad for baseball, Mike. I'm looking forward to it. You guys know we're going to rock them RBIs. We're going to hit them sides, them totals, them first fives, full games. We're going to get all kinds of crazy when it comes to baseball this season. I'm fired up for it. Now we'll have our second full season busting out ribeye PODs. You guys know you want to eat that red meat, baby. Ribeye play of the days. We're fired up last year, and we're going to run it back. You got to run it back when you get limited by the bookies. You got to out there. Who knew they were going to take such a beating in the RBI market? Morgan Spooner in the house says, what's up, Mike? I hear on the morning show you don't even watch basketball, just read numbers off a spreadsheet and throw darts. Yeah, I was watching Scooby-Doo all afternoon, Morgan Spooner. I didn't get much time to look at the card today, so hopefully these darts hit the center of the target for us. I never heard such a crazy thing. Anyhow, let's go. Jay Stone says, don't like anything enough to play a full unit. Sprinkle plays. Ottawa first period, tie in regulation plus 1,200. And the other play is tie first period, Tampa Bay in regulation. They're low scoring spots or at least ties in the first period for our guy, Jay Stone 9 out there. Let's roll on, you guys. We got a lot to get to today. Morgan Spooner says, glad I'm on the first half, full game, Seattle U spot with you. Let's go. Wine Time says Grizzlies plus 4.5, Clippers minus 5.5, and the Bulls money line plus 120. A lot of similarities there, Wine Time. I like where your head's at, my guy. Paul Boat says he's on Orlando. Sneaton Hall money line parlay out there. Ricky Levine says, get that cash, pimp slap. We got to get that cash. Let's roll on. No, I think he's making a joke about this morning's show. Yeah, somebody this morning was trying to clown on my. I don't know what they were. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, nobody talks about the angles and trends except for maybe our guy backstage. I know he's a big angle and trend guy. That's why I enjoy getting down. I love to hear the spots that he has out there. It's a lot of work digging it up there. Kelsey says, Mikey wants to sit on Mikey's lap play of the day. Oh, man. Listen, all you got to say is there's always a camera somewhere. And that's exactly what happened. Troy Torrance in the house. He says, Mike M, keep bringing the sauce, my man. Well, listen, we've got a lot of work to do. We got to get busy. I don't want to keep our guy back there. It's a full NBA card today. I'm excited. I cannot wait to hear his spots and breakdowns. And we want to make sure you guys have plenty of time to get to it. So we'll set the table. You guys know the deal. Transparency is the most important thing we have here. It's the only currency that we work with in this gambling community. And we're going to go through those plays that we came out with yesterday. Then we'll jump in to NHL plays. I've got one drilled down college basketball look, and then we're going to open up the floor with our guy LJ there. I'm ready to smash the NBA card tonight. Look, 2 days ago, got me real good. I still thought about that this morning. Went out really nice yesterday in the NBA and trying to go run it back today. So I feel like the voice is getting a little sketchy, man. That boy smoked some planes down there in San Antonio, and it got me. I was there. Feel like I was smoking on him, but the voice is struggling right now. I guess we'll see. Let's see where it goes, though. We've got ourselves. Let's get this recap going. Let's dig into the plays and let's get rolling. I'm fired up right now here. That Seattle first half got me moving in the right direction here. And look, not moving in the right direction was the open the card up yesterday, the Carolina play in regulation. Hey, Pittsburgh got it done, man. I thought they were toast, and they toasted Carolina. So we took an L there in the NHL slate, but we went on a rip. We got the Edmonton spot. The best part about that Edmonton spot, man, they were live. They were down, I think it was 2-0. It was plus 200. And then I looked back. No, I'm sorry. It was 1-0. It was plus 200 at some point. And then I look back and they're up 2 goals and it's minus 200. I'm like, well, that was a great live bet. The Washington Capitals got it done. How about the Cashville Predators? Nice minus 140 spot for us. But I'll tell you what, I was hanging out with them boys and live betting and sweating last night. We took a Nashville. It was down. They were down 3 goals. It was a plus 2.5 at minus 125. We said, no, We're going to take the plus 1.5 at plus 255. We got that cash, but they ended up coming back to win the game outright. So congrats to Nashville and everybody that tailed that bet. That was a W. The Calgary under 6 spot. Mental note for that one, boys and girls. The third game in 4 days, 10 years of data for the Calgary Flames is now 1-24 to the under. Think about that. 10 years of data, 1-24 to the under when they're on their third game in 4 nights. Just mental note that thing, and when you see an opportunity, don't even ask questions, just bang it. Then we talked about this one here, Montreal plus 1.5 at plus 142. I told y'all to get on that money line. You know, we didn't make it an official show play, but hopefully you sprinkled that with me. It was plus 360 at one point when I cashed on that thing as well. So we got big money out of that Montreal game, 2-1 victory. Hey, look, I got it. Everyone was talking about the Avs need this game. They need it. They're not looking ahead to the Rangers. They're not looking ahead. No, they need this game. Yeah. And what happened? They busted up. They busted up and lost that 7-game winning streak that they had out there. So let's take that Montreal win. Then we went back-to-back with losses in college basketball. Ohio State under 150.5. You know what? Maybe that was my grab the dart and throw it at the board because I don't watch college basketball. And shame that Indiana State spot. You know, I felt like there were some plays like this today as well. This line opened up at 3. It ballooned all the way up to 6s, kind of started coming back to 4.5s. They win the game by 4. We did not cover the 4.5, unfortunately. But we did win Seattle last night at minus 6.5. That was an easy, no sweat, wire-to-wire winner out there. Then we went 2-0. We're starting to get some of that cash back in the NBA. Golden State Warriors minus 4.5. No sweat bet, baby. Then we got that Dallas under 232.5 to finish off the evening, the late night card in the NBA. And that's how you roll up 8-3 there on an 11-play day. Big win. Congrats to everybody that tailed with us there. We were able to turn in just over 5 units on that card yesterday. So all good stuff. The right direction, the right momentum we want as we get ready to attack tonight's card. And let's do just that. Time to put the skates on, get to the pond, grab your hockey stick, and let's go out there and hammer these bookies with the games that we have tonight. Again, just a 2-game slate, but you guys know the deal. We get better when the card gets smaller, and that is a real tribute, a testament to being able to do the research and study. Kelsey says Montreal. Yes, man, Montreal got it done. JPC says Seattle struggling with Bodo, huh? What's going on in that game? Maybe I shouldn't have said I need to see updates because now, oh man, holy shit. 20-11 in the second half. Oh no, Seattle. Come on, don't ruin our momentum. All right, I'm going to put that away. I'm going to put it away. Let's get into the card tonight, though. We've got ourselves some work to do and a little bit of time to do it. So we got to get moving. We got to keep that brisk pace, and we got to get our guy LJ up and rolling with us. So let's dig in without further ado. Let's talk about this first game in the NHL. We're putting the skates on, and we're tackling the Ottawa Senators Buffalo Sabres spot here tonight. Shout out. I know our guy, Real Deal Prime's not going to be happy with this one. But look, Buffalo Sabres, who are they starting? They're going to their go-to guy. It's Luukkonen. He's 24-18-3 on the season. He's been playing pretty phenomenal. Ottawa, on the other hand, though, they're going to Korpisalo, 17-21-4. Now, Korpisalo's numbers have not been great. He's got a 3.33 goals against average, 88.8% save percentage. Luukkonen, on the other hand, though, he is the starter for Buffalo. Devin Levi kind of cracked under the pressure early in the season. Luukkonen stepped up. He's got a 2.48 goals against average and a 91.3% save percentage out there. But don't look now. Everyone's saying this Ottawa Senators team has packed it in. But, the crucial part is they didn't tell the Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators coming off of back-to-back wins. And the coach didn't pack it in. He's playing the old head games out there. He said, you know what? Jacques Martin says, Anton Forsberg, we know you're our starter, but you're soft right now. He gave up 11 goals in back-to-back losses on 2 starts out there. So what do? They go back to Jonas Korpisalo. This guy's been playing pretty solid. Ottawa does have 5 wins over an 8-game stretch as well. So as much as everyone says they've checked out, I think we're going to check in on this spot here. It's Luukkonen's 3rd start. So we look at this thing and we kind of can suspect, well, maybe there's a little fatigue setting in. And the best spot of all for me is when do you fade a team on a 5-game road trip? The first game back from a 5-game road trip. What a great opportunity. I mentioned it's the 3rd start for Luukkonen. Ottawa's been rolling and getting things done. This is also the 4th game in the series. Buffalo does have the 2-1 lead in this series over the 3 games they've played thus far. But don't look now, because what we have going on right now is a pretty solid power play kick, and special teams are oh so important this time of year. And I think we can look at this power play that's happening right now with the Ottawa Senators and expect that to continue. 7 for 21 over the last 6 games is a phenomenal. Usually in the power play world, we see 18 to 22%, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good number. But, these boys are rolling off there at a 33% clip, coupled with the tired legs of the Buffalo Sabres, and they're settling into a 5-game homestand. So certainly could see that they look past this game here. Ottawa's no business for these guys. Now, we do know Buffalo is fighting for a playoff spot, but the next 2 games they have on deck are the Devils and the Maple Leafs. They're going to take this Ottawa team here, and I think this lack of home ice advantage, 17-17-1 at the KeyBank Center this season for Buffalo, is going to hurt them. I think it's going to compromise them overall. I'm going to take the hotter power play to get things done. The Sabres penalty kill has been suspect as of late as well. I do like goals in this game. I do think there's an opportunity for some scoring just based on these 2 goaltenders in previous matchups. But I'm taking a plus 120 shot here. We're going to open this thing up. We're going with the plus money opportunity. Plus 120 it is. That's the first official play on the card. Coin says, do I dare bet this Buffalo under 6.5? Man, I would think that this is probably an opportunity for goals. I see that it's low juice as well for the over. I mean, certainly they're saying that they think it's going to be a spot, but I don't know. That's a tricky spot for me. I like the plus 120. I think that's good money for us. Kelsey says, I got Lightning Mikey's old East Swizz. Don't make me gift you a membership. You've got that cash. Kelsey says, freaking vodka, Mikey. Jeez. Yeah, what? Am I drinking vodka? Yeah, I'm drinking vodka. Hell yeah, let's go. Give me some vodka. I could use a little pick me up right now. Swizz says, you right. You right. Get that green, baby. Let's go green and get it done. Let's go on to this next game in the NHL. I want to keep this brisk pace, keep things moving, and get you guys on to your evenings. We've got the Boston Bruins taking the road on down to Tampa, just off that game last night against the Florida Panthers. And you know what? They look pretty solid doing it. A 4-3 win against that Florida Panthers team was a pretty big opportunity. Now, the Florida Panthers, as much as that was a big win for Boston, they needed to come back and beat that Bruins team. That Florida team just off of previous games in the Eastern Conference here as they move forward. We've got Linus Ullmark going at 19-8-7 for the Boston Bruins. And then we've got Vasilevsky 26-16-2 rolling for Tampa Bay. I know the jokes there. I love them when you guys talk about no Vasilinsky with this guy, but Ullmark's got a 2.66 goals against average, a 91.3% save percentage. Not the best of times for Vasilevsky. He came back after missing the first half of the season with the lower body factors, the back injuries, 2.94 goals against average, and an 89.7% save percentage. We know our guy Joe T gave us there that first period over in this game, the over 1.5. Not at that look whatsoever, and Boston's been playing pretty strong. Boston has won 4 of their last 7 games, but Tampa Bay is kicking ass and taking names. Tampa Bay has won 7 of their last 8 games. Their lone spot was on the road to that LA Kings team, a 4-3 loss. Wasn't like they got doused. They couldn't get it done. Now, Vasilevsky is going for his 11th start in 12 games, but I just talked a minute ago about the importance of the power play when it came to that Ottawa team and trying to decipher them as decide to play in that game. How about this power play right now for Tampa Bay on the season? This is the number 1 power play in the NHL. They're rolling a 29%. Remember I said, you see an 18 to 22%. That's pretty darn good. We see that in the temporary 21 power play opportunity. We see Ottawa's rolling 7 of 21 to be 33% on the last stretch of games. But Tampa Bay's been doing it all year. I think the spoiler opportunity is kind of underplayed in this spot. We've talked yesterday about the teams with rest, right? When you've got the rest advantage, you're sitting there on your home ice. They're winning at a 2-1 clip and then some. It's now 8-1 over its last 9 games with rest advantage. And when I talk about the spoiler role here, I'm not talking about a team that's eliminated from the playoffs, trying to go out there and knock somebody else out. I'm talking about a team that doesn't want to let them clinch against them. Boston Bruins are 1 win away from clinching the playoffs. I mentioned they've won 4 of their last 7 games out there, but the home ice for Tampa Bay with the rest advantage, trying to play the spoiler. You're not going to clinch on our ice. 21-9-4, the Tampa Bay Lightning are on their home ice right now, and we're getting these boys at a discount, a -110 opportunity. Just looking at the numbers here, I see minus 112s, minus 114s, minus 115. So it's moving back up. We're seeing last-minute movement here on the Tampa Bay side of things. And I like it. That's where I'm rolling. That's how I'm jumping in. We just talked about rest advantage, the support of the home ice, the strength of the power play, and the potential fatigue for this Florida Panthers team. Give me this Tampa Bay team at a super low discount, I think just because of kind of their record here on the season and what's been going on with Vasilevsky. So great value here with this Tampa Bay team. Of course, there's no value in losing, but I feel this gets it done for us out there and ready to roll. Marcus McCarthy, the pimp, my guy. Good to see you in here, Marcus. Gerald Jones says, Toronto Raps team total under my best bet there. And Jay Peasy, I swear to God, if I bet Tampa Bay and they lose again, no Vasilevsky gives up those cheeks. I'll be pissed. Probably just staying off. Yeah. I hope that's not the case. But as far as the case is concerned, let's go crack this case here for college basketball, and then we will get to our guy, LJ, loaded up and ready for bear in the NBA. I know that. I know that's how he rolls out there. Let's talk about this next game, though, here. We've got the 7 p.m. start. I talked earlier on Jimmy's show today about a lot of the spots that I really like in this game and this matchups across the board. The one that jumped out the most to me, though, is this IPFW spot against Norfolk State. We have 96. That's right, 96% of the bets. Poor visibility into the cash, by the way. So I can see the percentage of bets, but I can't see anything on the cash angle. Certainly not the best place to be, but 96% of the bets on Norfolk State when it opened at plus 102. Well, guess what? It's now plus 110. Everybody likes this home dog. You want to talk about a public home dog? That's Norfolk State. I get it. The rumors are true. These boys have not lost a game on their home court. I get it. We look at the side. IPFW opens up at, Norfolk, plus 1.5. 56% of the bets. It's moved to plus 2. That's reverse line movement right there against that Norfolk State side of things. And we've got the total kind of frozen right now. 145.5 is pretty much where it sits right now with 63% of the bets on the under. We don't see much more other than that. So again, no percentage of cash. But let me tell you about this IPFW team here. I talked about this before. You kind of get grown up within your conference, right? Your division and kind of what's going on and the teams that you play kind of help configure who you are. If you want to look at the resume, the strength of schedule for this Norfolk State team, it's a bunch of have-nots. Savannah State, Coppin State, and Maryland Eastern Shores. I think I took Maryland Eastern Shores one time this year, and I think they were getting 30 points in that spot. Morgan State, SC State, Delaware State. I mean, these teams are just a mismatch of garbage programs out there. And then on the other side of things, you look at this IPFW squad. Who do they have in their conference? Well, let's go. They've got Oakland. We saw what Oakland did. Hey, they did damage there early in the conference tournament there. The big dance, the NCAA. They've got Cleveland States. They've got Youngstown States. They've got North Kentucky, Robert Morris, all kinds of programs. Now, Detroit's not a bright spot in this conference. There's no question about it, 1-31. But the rest of these squads are pretty competitive. They score a lot of points. And the thing that I look at with this game, as much as everybody loves this home court advantage for me, I go back to the conference tournament for the MEAC, and these guys played. Norfolk State essentially was the impromptu home team. They played right down the street from their home stadium. Norfolk State took a loss to Howard, 80-74. Because of their seeding, because Norfolk State got the number 1 seed, they got an auto bid to the semifinals. So we saw them go out there and trounce on Alabama A&M, and they took them down pretty handily. But we got an IPFW team that's been out there running and gunning, wrangling with the best of them. They lost 75-65 to Oakland in the conference tournament, but they rolled up and took down Bowling Green 77-75 as a 1-point favorite. They hammered Tarleton. The score shows 73-72. They were a 6-point dog, and we know Tarleton plays with the best of them there in Grand Canyon in Seattle. So I love what's going on with this IPFW spot. I know the general consensus. It's their home court, and they've never lost. Well, guess what? Trends are made to be broken. I think this is a great opportunity today based on the way the defense plays for this IPFW team, and their offense can certainly go out there and score in a frenzy. Give me IPFW in this spot here. The best number I see out there. I'm just going to go to the money line with these conference finals. These are spots where I don't want to get caught with a last-minute free throw at the end here. FanDuel's got a minus 122. That's good enough for me. I'll pay against that spot there for the 1.5. IPFW's won 16 of its last 18 games against non-conference opponents as well. They're rolling on the road. 4 of their last 5 games have been victories on the road, and their defense is finding a way to be stellar as well, 145 points or fewer. They're not scared. The home team has won a bunch of games here for the IPFW squad. As long as they can manage the storm with Norfolk State, they have certainly the capability to go out there and punch these guys in the mouth. So I'm going to load it up. That's going to be the first and only official college play today. It's a short card as we get ready for the tournament tomorrow. ZC33 says, someone clipped Mike saying trends were made to be broken. You know, the difference is, though, it's not some horseshit trend about, a home team. The trends that we're talking about are the ones that have 10 plus years of history behind them, like we talked about yesterday with Calgary. That being said, though, it's a good opportunity, I believe. Kelly V says IPFW lost to Iapui this year. Gave 17 at home, lost outright after that. No more IPFW for me, Kelly V. No worries. I'll play it for both of us, Kelly V. How about that? I'll play it enough for both of us to feel good when they win. So let's roll on. Morgan Spooner says, turn the Seattle U High Point game on. This is a good ball. I just snuck a peek at the score. I saw they pulled back ahead 53-52. So I expected High Point to battle in that second half. I didn't think they were just going to roll over and get bludgeoned by 30 points. But Seattle, we got them, baby. Let's go Red Hawks. Let's roll on. And let's bring on our next guest. It was such a treat to roll with my man. We rolled on Slab down there in San Antonio. Well, I'm not sure if we were on Slab or not, but I still rolled with this guy. I love watching him rock out with JPZ Saturday night. And welcoming in our Wednesday guru of the hardwood here. Let's go LJ from H-Town, baby. LJ.
What's going on, Mike? How we doing this lovely Wednesday evening, sir?
We are having ourselves a day. It's been a good 2 days now. Sad that we're obviously away from the enjoyment of Southtown 101 in the studio, but it was so great to rock with you, man. It was great to see you in person, you and the missus, and got to have a little conversation about some hoops and everything else that's going on, man. So it was a treat to see you in person, in the flesh, and watch you rock out, dude. You were spitting fire. It was awesome. I don't think I've ever seen the full version of that opening number that you laid out there, but that was awesome, dude.
Hey, appreciate you. Yeah, a lot of y'all didn't hear it, so I was enjoyed it. Loved the performance for y'all. Shouted everybody out. So everybody did get a chance to watch the video. Go to Pub Sports right now. Check me and JPZ out. Did it for the chat. Did it for all y'all that support the channel, man. So, but yeah, I like the card today, Mike. Got a couple spots I've already attacked. Want to talk some over with you as well. We may be on some couple sides the same as well. So let's get at it. See if we can get some people some money.
Well, I'm excited. I look forward to our Wednesdays. I love the props, the sides. I love the trends, the angle. I love the way you do your business, my guy. And let's talk about business here. We do have some games that are going to pop off here. We're making good time. So we've got some time here, but we've got 3 games at 7 o'clock. We'll open the card up here. We'll talk about the first game on the NBA lineup. We've got the Golden State Warriors, the Orlando Magic. Now, you won't see my official spots there on screen. I told T, I'm going to sit with this NBA card a little bit more since we're encompassing the entire sport tonight. So I've made a bunch of plays that I will talk about live with our guy, LJ, but I want to hear his breakdowns before I lock in officials as well. This Magic spot opened at 4. It's sitting at, depending on the books, 3.5s to 4s are still out there. 76% of the bets and 99% of the cash on the Orlando Magic. 99%. Yikes. Then we've got this number opens at 217.5. It's up to 218.5 with 73% of the bets and 98% of the cash on the over. And LJ, I've been sharing this for a lot of folks as of late. When I talk about the bets and the cash, it's about where the numbers are, where the money's coming in. Typically we see the bets, the percentage of bets are a reflection of parlays, teasers, smaller tickets, round robins, kind of everything is baked into what the percentage of bets are. Then we look at the percentage of cash and we see that, okay, well, that's probably going to be the bigger, better, right? You don't typically find sharps or professionals doing like 10-leg parlays. And so we want to see that cash flow, how it relates to where the public and the bets are. But the key piece for us is how does that number correlate to what the books are feeling about it? So when we see 99% of the cash on a side, we want the books to be adjusting the number to show that concern more than we want to see it go from a +4 to a +5. That would be the wrong side of things, or you'll hear terms like reverse line movement. So I know a lot of people have been in here quite a bit to kind of talk about it, and they hear it for us, but it's something I think is so important to talk about because there's that misconception where people are like, I don't care where the cash is. Well, that's fine, but you should look at how the books are reacting. Are they opening their arms to that money, or do they get kind of cold feet and pull back a little bit and change the numbers to kind of couple or right side the number that their systems told them to put on those books? So that's kind of how we look at those things. And we see a ton of money coming in on the over, and we see a ton of money on the Warriors, LJ. Interesting spot there. We know it is that second leg of the back-to-back for the Warriors there. They downed them Heat last night, 113-92. That was a game that we were able to cash on. The Orlando Magic now, fifth game in a row at home. They've had themselves 3 days of rest as well after that Sacramento Kings loss, 109-107. LJ, I'm excited to hear your work tonight. I'm looking forward to following along. Talk to us about this first game on the card. Is there an opportunity for us to get this cash?
Yeah, I stepped on a couple of opportunities in this game. Let's match these teams up. First of all, East Coast West. So we know that cross conference game. So I really dived in to see what advantages that each of these teams have. You already mentioned the Magic have rest. They're also 7-4 at home versus the West. So they play decent in this spot. But I came to the notion that they lost their last game versus the West, which was the Kings, because they've been playing a lot of East Coast teams. They haven't played a lot of West Coast teams recently. Mind you, the Warriors have been on the road, and they play very well on the road. I'll give you the numbers. 9-4 on the road versus the East. 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games with no rest. 23-11 on the road overall. 15-9-1 as a dog. 11-7 against the spread as a road dog. Very important right here, Mike. 11-3 against the spread in their last 14 games on the road on the Golden State Warriors. Not to mention 8-2 straight up in their last 10 on the road versus the Eastern Conference. So I say all that to say I've come to the Warriors, Mike. I just believe they're fighting to get out of that 10th spot. They have the Rockets on their heels, and we're going to talk about them later. So I believe they're going to keep that sense of urgency to try to keep the Rockets off their heels so they don't have to play into that play-in to try to fight to get a playoff spot. So Warriors plus the 5 is my first play. And I'm also on their team total over 106.5, simply because the Warriors are 19-8 to their team total in the last 27 games with Steph Curry in that lineup. So I believe they're going to put up the points. I don't think I think the Magic are young. They are a good team, but I think the Warriors are more experienced, and the sense of urgency is more on the Warriors side than it is Orlando. Because, like you say, Orlando's been at home. They've been chilling. They're running to a team that really, really wants to win this game to keep that standing to where they don't want the Rockets to catch them. And like I said, the Magic have been playing East Coast teams. They got familiar with their conference. Let's see how they do against this Western Conference. So they've already lost one to the Kings. So I believe they're going to drop this one too, just because I believe the Warriors will come out and play. Now, interesting to note, betting this game live. Both of these teams are good coming out of halftime. Warriors 8-2-1 in their last 11 games on the road coming out of halftime in that third quarter. Magic 21-11-2 at home in the third quarter, 6-4 in their last 10. So I believe whoever comes out in that third quarter and wins that third quarter is ultimately going to win the game. So I'm going to be watching it close to see who comes out. You can tell who's going to want to win this game. But as far as my plays, Warriors plus 5, and I'm on their team total over 106.5.
Whew, that's disheartening. I was thinking about the Orlando Magic in this spot. I did see that Curry came off the report there. What I did do in the chat there, for everybody that's kind of wondering, that's me that dropped that in under Pub Sports Radio. There's my same game, or my player prop parlay. I think I better do it this way because we're going to talk about a lot of these games tonight, and some of them might pop off before we get there. Banchero over 6.5 rebounds is one of the plays for me on the parlay tonight. And there's the 3 legs with Claxton over 11.5 rebounds and Grayson Allen over 2.5 threes. And I'll just say this, as far as this game is concerned and kind of how I got there with this number, it's just the averages for me. As I was looking over this thing, kind of the big picture of it and kind of what's happening. Where did my Banchero stuff go there? But just came down to his averages. I mean, he's sitting there on these numbers for us. Let me see if I just lost my notes. He's got the rebounding number, 3 of 5 games. Now he's hit this rebound spot out there. And then if you look at what's going on with this Golden State Warriors team, they allow the 10th most rebounds to opposing forwards, averaging 51.3 rebounds their last 3 games out there. So I thought, with Curry coming into town, we're going to see a lot of scoring. There's going to be a lot of defensive rebounding opportunities as well. And when you look at these numbers, this one just feels like it's right in line with where we need to be. It's a big dude, 6'10", 250-pound guy. He should be able to go out there, throw his weight around. He is the in facto leader here with what's going on in Orlando Magic, and I wanted him as one of the 3 legs. So there's that's going to be how I kind of open this thing up. And shout out, man. I was looking to pull the trigger on Orlando earlier. I did see some kind of reverse movement against the earlier number. So I like that 5 spot. I think that's, especially with 99% of the cash. Now, I see 4.5s out there. Would you, are you hell bent on that 5? If somebody can only get a 4.5, would you feel that's okay too?
I mean, I'll take the 4.5. Definitely.
Okay. Let's rock onward there. Our guy LJ likes Golden State to go out there and smash tonight. Do you think they win the game outright, or do you think it's one of those?
I'm gonna sprinkle the money line. Just because I believe that they're trying to fight, but on the down stretch of their standings. So yeah, I'm gonna sprinkle the money line, just a small sprinkle though.
Love it. Love to hear it. I love that spot there. That's exactly what we did last night with some spots, and take the big hit and then sprinkle for the big score as well. So let's go. Dan's in the house. He says, "Sup, Mike? Sup, Dan? Let's go." Gerald Jones says, "Wemby over 3.5 blocks. He's on it. I'm sure we're going to talk about that game as we get there. We've got the 7 p.m. though. 2 more 7 o'clock spots here. The Brooklyn Nets, the Washington Wizards. This line opened at 2.5. It's moved to 4s. We've got 4s out there now for the Nets. 64% of the bets, 98% of the cash on the Brooklyn Nets. And then the total is dropping, sinking like a stone. 226.5, all the way down to 221.5. 63% of the bets and 79% of the cash on the under in this game, LJ. This Brooklyn Nets team, situationally, I don't know what they've got left to kind of play for out there. They are on this is their 4th game on the road. What's interesting, though, is it's their 5th road game in their last 6 as well. They did have that kind of sandwich spot with the New Orleans Pelicans, but they came off a 96-88 beating on the Toronto lifeless Raptors. The Washington Wizards have turned a corner here maybe with the Sacramento win, Toronto win, and then the Chicago Bulls as well. Dogs winning outright in 2 of those spots, the +11 and a +13. Is Washington alive in this game, or do you think that we see this Brooklyn Nets team find a way to put them down?
I don't know, Mike. Both of these teams, are pretty much at the bottom of the league, in my opinion. Wizards are much worse at home. I went through the numbers. You may want to trust them more on the road, especially early, but at home, they're only 4-17 at home versus the East, So I'm not investing trying to pick a side or total in this game. So I just focused on the props simply because the Wizards, allow the 3rd most rebounds to the center. So might as well just keep on Claxton rebounds. I got it over 11.5. Like I said, they're giving up a lot to the center. And I also did a 2-leg parlay with Schroeder's assists because he had 10 assists the last game he played the Wizards. And he's hit 3 out of his last 5 games. So his prop is over 6.5 assists. And I parlayed it with Claxton's over 11.5 rebounds. And I got a +227 parlay. So I'm just going to stick to those 2 players and I see the advantages because of the Wizards of how they give up so much offensively. And I'm just going to stick to that. I'm not going to try to trust to see who has the advantage in this game. Well, both these teams are at the bottom of the NBA. So let's just stick to the props and move on.
I love it. I'm invested with the Claxton spot as well. You saw that from my same game parlay. So I'm happy to hear that. I think it's a great opportunity. The numbers seem right. He's been hitting those averages on the regular here. And the fact that you are in alignment with me makes me feel that much better about the spot there. You mentioned it, the Wizards, they give up that most rebound spot to me was the number that jumped off the board. I was kind of surprised because as much as I've seen that this team, I guess they're scoring more lately, and that's kind of boosted that rebounding number out there. So Claxton's got 610 rebounds on the season, which is unbelievable. And he just came off a game where he hit 16. So he's not done by any stretch. He's out there hooping. He's ready to roll. He's not afraid to throw his elbows up high and pick up that secondary chance. So I like it. Let's go. No, it was me, T. It was me that posted the parlay. I dropped it in there because I thought, 2 of the 3 games that I'm going to talk about are going to start here shortly. So I wanted to make sure for official tracking purposes, everybody got to see it. So we've got no sides or totals in this game, but LJ and I both like that Claxton spot. And I like LJ getting in there, loading up on a little plus 227 player prop. Same game parlay out there, LJ, bringing the goods. Let's roll on. We've got Cleveland. We've got Charlotte. A game down there in Charlotte where this line has moved from 9.5 to 10.5. We've got 70% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the Cavaliers. And we've got some correlated line movement, although there is some last-minute buyback that we're starting to see with this Cavalier spot. Then as far as the total, it's dropped. It's dropped from 207.5 down to 206. We have 55% of the bets on the over. We have no idea about the cash. And yet we see a little bit of reverse movement here where there's the money's coming in with the bets on the over. Yet the line has dropped 1.5 points in this game. The Cavaliers, kind of a mash unit all season long. When you look at their injury report at quick glance, we see Donovan Mitchell, Ty Jerome, and Dean Wade all out. I don't know if it's official with Dean Wade there. I see his status is still as of Monday. On the other side of things, again, with Charlotte, they're pretty much packed in as well. Seth Curry, Cody Martin, LaMelo Ball, Mark Williams, they're all out of this game. And away we go, LJ. We've got this Charlotte Hornets team that just keeps picking up losses. But what's consistent about the Hornets, they're not just losing games, they're not covering spreads either. So there's a little comfort, I guess, when it comes down to here's a big number. Of course, we've been fading this Hornets team on last call or trying to stay off them, but we did catch them one time. We did catch the win with them. I don't know about this game, though. I'm very eager to hear the breakdown. Troy Torrance dropping in his play. He says under in the game and the Charlotte team total under as well. But let's use that as the segue in here and looking forward to hearing how we're going to get paid here, LJ. Take it away.
Yeah, I agree with Troy. Under and Charlotte team total under. They're 3-10 to their under team total in their last 13 games. So they cannot score the ball. But, I will lean more to the under just because, I don't know how both these teams are going to react with all these injuries. They just played, a couple of days ago. So who's to say the Hornets may catch the Cavs slipping, in the fourth quarter. Cavs may be, lackadaisical, not really into the game, So I don't know how it's going to go, but the Hornets are possibly the worst team in the NBA next to the Wizards because they're bottom 5 in every offensive category. So there's no reason why you should ever look to the Hornets. Like I said, they're 3-13 straight up in their last 16 games. So they're used to losing. So maybe they're good in that situation that they're just going to keep losing. So, but like I said, the under's in play. The Cavs are 7-3 to the under last 10 on the road. So you could go either way. I endorse the under more than that team total just because Charlotte can hit it today for no reason. But I will stick to the prop as well. I'm going to take Jared Allen over 10.5 rebounds. He's had 13 plus 3 out of his last 4 games. They just played. He had 13 rebounds the last game. So we can just keep attacking the interior of the Charlotte Hornets because that's where they're vulnerable. They have nobody up front that can hold them. And like I said, the beat up Cavs, they need to win. They win kind of ugly, with Allen cleaning up the boards, versus the NBA's second worst team in rebounding percentage. I'll go without the prop. Jared Allen over 10.5 rebounds and leave the game alone.
What kind of juice do you have on the 10.5?
I had a minus 113. I don't know if you can beat that. So if you can beat it.
No, I can't now. This thing's climbing. I got 12.5. I'm seeing 11.5s now too. So
they juiced it up. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're moving. I mean, 12.5's got a nice plus number behind it, but you definitely caught the right spot there. And interesting little prop. You know what? I can get down with that total on the under. So some people are asking in the chat, the best under total that I see out there for the side is 98.5. It's juiced to the minus 120 for the Charlotte Hornets. Probably can line shop that a little bit better. Then as far as the total itself, it opened at 207.5, and I'm seeing 207.5, but dropping 207s, 206.5s, and 206 now. So does look like under be the play there. The Hornets are 0-11 when they're playing a winning team off a home game. So when they're playing a winner that's taking it to the road, they're getting beat up and they're losing those games by almost 7 points as well. So yeah, I mean, look, the way you said it, right? It makes so much sense. They're just bottom in everything, and there's really not a lot of reason to get involved with them. The unders sound great. Appreciate that guy Troy Torrance sharing it as well. He's saying big home dogs, market moving to the under, low total equals one thing. Sounds like an under for our guy Troy Torrance out there.
Get it.
Justin says just tailed Mike M. Parlay. Let's go, my guy. Let's get it out there. North Ender says we need to avoid overtime. Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure exactly what we've got going on. Kelsey's getting a little pull out there. Says, hey guys, question for everyone. Do you bet when you're drinking? I drink when I'm betting. How about that, Kelsey? I drink when I'm betting. Makes me sound like less of an alcoholic, but
yeah.
Let's go. I did jump in on this next game, LJ. 7:30 Eastern start. We've got the clip show rolling into Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, home of the 215 and the Philly cheesesteak here, open at -5.5. Let's move to 7. 86% of the bets and 99% of the cash on the Clippers. Correlated line movement. The total's dropping from 218.5 all the way down to 215.5 out there in some spots. Very excited to hear what you have to say about my Sixers. Is it put a fork in their done time or not? We do see that from a player or from a game perspective, they are 1-3 in their last 4. It is a revenge spot, though, for this Clippers team. The one win they got was at the Clippers. That was the second half of the LA standing. 121-107 as 9-point dogs. Do the Clippers exact revenge? They are on back-to-back losses. They've only played one game since that Philly loss. It was to the Pacers, and they got trounced 133-116. In the favorite role, they have struggled their last 2 games at home, but they're taking it to the road in a James Harden revenge spot, LJ. What say you? Do we have some action in this game?
Yeah, I do got some action, but I didn't come to a side just because I don't trust the Clippers. But I believe they could win a game, and they should cover. The spot says Clippers all day just because the revenge factor you just said. They're also 8-4 in a row versus the East. So when they go cross country to the Eastern time zone, they play well. I don't know if it's the distractions from home that's getting to them, but I don't know. Maybe it works for them just to be away from crypto and just concentrate on the road so they can probably lock in and have a better offensive production, because at home those East Coast teams have been coming in their house and just smacking them. I believe the East Coast team has won 3 out of the last 4 games on the road in crypto versus the Clippers. So yeah, I think they're going to be primed to get some get back today. They're 1-6 in their last 7 games if you take out those 2 Portland games. So I believe they're scrapping, itching for a win right now. And Ty Lue called them out, in the press, saying that they were soft. So I believe they're going to have some pride. And like you just mentioned, James Harden, coming back to the 76ers, he's going to hear from the crowd. So maybe that will get his adrenaline going to where they can have a good performance. But I don't trust the Clippers, so I'm not going to take a side. I lean heavy to the under as well, just because the 76ers are 11-4 to the under in their last 15. But the Clippers are 7-3 to the over in their last 10. So those contradict each other. So that kind of gave me hesitation as well. So I just stick to the prop, man. We're going to start off with Paul George. I took his over 22.5 points. I got it at -115. He's averaging 30 points in their last 6 games coming off a loss. So I believe he's going to, be great, like looking for that 3, because he loves to shoot the 3-point shot. He loves driving, getting the offensive production going. So if Kawhi Leonard is not on tonight, I believe Paul George will pick up that slack. Plus, the 76 allowed the most points to the forward position. So it could be Kawhi, it could be George. But I looked into the numbers of both of them, and I see that George performs better when they're coming off a loss than Kawhi does. So I'm going with Paul George over 22.5 points. And I'm also going to jump on Zubac. They try to get cute and put his over 9.5 rebounds at +104, thinking that everybody's going to get the bait, and we probably get trapped on that hook because he might end up at 9. So, me, Mike. I like to flip it up on him and just lower the juice and probably get some plus money. So how about we do this? How about we jump on Zubac's 9+ rebounds and we jump on James Harden's 8 assists, because he's averaging 8 assists. I think they have it at 9.5 to 10. I think it's kind of juiced, at plus money as well. But let's drop it down to his average 8+, and we'll drop Zubac down to his average at 9 rebounds. That gets you at a +135 parlay. So those are my 2 props, and I lean the Clippers to win the game. The 76ers, the 9 of their last 11 games have been on the road. So they're coming home. They're probably glad to be home, but like I said, they had to take care of some business, had to check on the family, check on the kids, check the mail, make sure the house is set, got the groceries for the maid, got the cleaning over, so they had some priorities to do when they got back in town. So I don't think they're going to really be focused on this game, because they already beat the Clippers. So Clippers revenge spot. They should perform well, but let's just stick to the props and call it a night.
That's one of my favorite looks there, is to be able to take kind of tease it down a little bit, to be able to get a number that you're more comfortable with without having to reach and take the hook. So love the creativity. I'll tell you what, I am jumping in on the Clippers. I see quite a few in the chat as well talking Clippers here. And how about this one here? Found a little perfect fit opportunity. When you've got the single digit favorite, they lost the last 2 games by 10 or more points as a favorite, and they're avenging a loss on the season. So a rematch spot. 2 straight losses by double-digit points as a favorite in a revenge opportunity with a low spread. 24-2 against the spread in those spots. 11.5 points is the margin. They're covering this thing by almost 12 points out there as well. So I'm jumping in. I'm rolling. I see 6.5. I sat on it this morning and I saw the 5.5s, and shout out, I saw Kelsey says she got the 5.5. When I was looking at those, I thought, well, I need to see a little bit more movement. And then, kind of here comes the later move in the afternoon. We see it start to pop up to 6s and 6.5s. Now 7s out there as well. So I'm all for it. I love the props that you laid out there for us. I think, I was saying James Harden, why not fuck around and watch this guy get a double-double in this revenge spot out there, giving him the opportunity to go out and ball. He wants to try to show him that they made the mistake, and it wasn't him. It's not me, it's you type of thing. But at plus 170, I do see Kelly Oubre will play. Just came through breaking news 5 seconds ago. But I still don't think it matters. Give me this. Let me just make sure I got the best number out there. 6.5, and now, like I said, I see 7. So we're going to rock it. We're going to take the Clippers, double bounce back after beat down losses, trying to revenge their loss at home to this 76ers team. LJ, that's going to move us rolling here. We're keeping a good pace. We got things popping off. Another 7:30. In fact, we've got 2 more 7:30 games. This next one takes us down to the streets of Atlanta. We've got the Trailblazers. This Atlanta Hawks team setting NBA records, or at least matching NBA records, after getting blown out, only to come back and beat that Boston Celtics team. The line, though, has moved from 12.5 down to 10.5. So a full 2-point move to the Atlanta Hawks. I'm sorry, to the Trailblazers. 33% of the bets and 72% of the cash on the Atlanta Hawks. The line's dropped 2 points. Kind of tells me there's maybe an injury factor. 212.5 on the total. Has moved 7 points up to 72% of the bets on the over. This thing is cooking to the over, LJ. I'm just going to take a quick look here at the injury report. Trae Young's always out. Okongwu's out. Sadiq Bey's out. Jalen Johnson, AJ Griffin, Kobe Buffkin. Man, everybody's out for the Atlanta Hawks. Maybe that's the definition of why the injury lineup is where it is here. Jamari Grant, Brogdon, Ayton, Williams, Seaman, Thibault. Everyone's out for the Trailblazers as well. Man, I'd feel bad if I had a ticket for this game. I mean, I don't know who you're going to see in this game, but I expect you'll see Hunter, you'll see Bogdanovich, you'll see Murray. Is it going to be enough for these guys to get the job done here with this Atlanta team? Or do we kind of try to look and say, do we fade this team who just came back? They were losing by 30 points against that Boston Celtics team. They were getting 10.5. They were losing by 30. They came back and they won the game by a single bucket, LJ. The floor is yours, my guy. What's happening down there in Atlanta tonight? Are they getting it done?
No, man, I think Portland is a live dog tonight. They have nothing to lose, and I just think the Hawks are going to come back down on that high they just beat Boston on. So I was waiting to see if Dejounte Murray was going to be ruled in. I don't see him on the injury list, so I guess he is good to go. So I would just focus on him. Assists. He's had double-digit assists. I think like 4 out of his last 6 games. I'm not sure on that one, but I'll just focus on him, man, and just stay away from a side, because Portland could easily come into Atlanta and cover this spread and possibly outright win. But far as the total, I will lean more to the under, just because Portland is 18-6 to the under versus the Eastern Conference. And like I said, I just think the Hawks are going to come off that high because they scored a lot of points to come back versus Boston, man. So I don't know if they can keep that same energy, that same resilience, against a Portland team that's 4-20 in their last 24 games. So why would you even get up for this game, And like I said, it's another cross-conference game. So those games you really can't get a lot of, advantages because they only see each other twice a year. So other than that, I stayed away. Like Portland's team total is a good look as well, just because they're 11-4 to their team total over in the last 15 games. So if you just want to think that, if you think the score is going to go over, I will lean Portland to cover their team total because if it's going to go over, they're going to have to score those points, So, it's at 103, I believe. They've hit that. They had 117, 103, 107, 107. So they've hit it 4 out of the last 5 games. So Portland's team total over is a very, very good look. But as far as anything else, I just stayed off just because both teams are nothing I don't want to get invested in.
Gotcha. I'm behind a little bit on some of the comments here. I see Tone Miggins, the levels play of the day. Oh, so important to see what you guys share with us when it comes to your favorite spots there. The levels play of the day for our guy, Tone Miggins. He's going Paul George over 21.5 points, LJ. Likes that action there. Kelly V, she's got Bridges over 2 threes for Bridges at plus 138 as well. Of course, we said Kelsey's on the Clippers, got the better number there at 5.5. Benefit of getting in early. Talk sports with JT. Likes the Zubac over 9.5 rebounds as well. So looks like great minds are thinking alike in this game there. And Mr. Vape saying there, perfect double result spot for the Clippers. Clippers first half, Clippers full game. And look at that. North Ender saying AD is ruled out tonight there. Looks like
not surprising.
Yeah, especially after seeing what happened last night. Marcus McCarthy says, let's go Seattle, LFG. Long time says, love to hear that since I'm on Memphis North Ender. North Ender says, Lakers line not moving. And congratulating Wine Time on getting that spot. 29, my guy Dan says, Delano Banton over 16.5. Is that points? I think that's got to be points, right? There's no way there's a rebound number sitting there with a nice spot like that there. Big Scott 510 says, High Point crumbled in the last 2 minutes. Boy, I'm excited to jump back in. There's our guy, Julian Cesario. Likes the Atlanta first half Nuggets money line there. A little 2-teamer from our guy, Julian, laying it down for us, getting that cash. And let's roll on. JP says, in the name of Pub Magic, I'm rolling on the Clippers and the Lightning. Let's go, baby. Let's get this cash. JP says, A stands for always, D stands for disabled. That's how he's putting together the AD spot for our guy, JP. Let's roll onward here as we get moving. We've got one more 7:30 spot. Then we're going to talk about that Lakers-Memphis spot. We've got this game with the Knicks. The Knicks rolling north of the border to the 6. The Knicks in the 6. How about that? Just worked out off the cuff like that with a line that opened at -9. Now sitting at 13.5, 78% of the bets and 97% of the cash on the New York Knickerbockers in their short pants. At the same time, the line, subtle movement to the under. 212s. There's some 211.5, some 211s out there. 69% of the bets on the over. Yet we're seeing this thing kind of moving in the opposite direction, LJ. What a game here. I'll tell you a couple thoughts for me when I just look at this thing off the cuff, and I'll share some trends after we hear your breakdown here. But, man, the Raptors stink. They're not scoring. Their scores are going under, blah, blah, blah. The Knicks, on the other hand, though, look, they're making a road trip here. They just beat Detroit. They won. They covered 17 points, by the way. They covered, I would say, comfortably. When you're laying 17 and you win the game by 25, I'd say that's a pretty comfortable spot there. I'd be sweating with that 17, but they busted them up and got that 25 spot. 4 and 5, both straight up and against the spread in their last 5 games there, LJ. We know, Randall, Anunoby, and Burks look to be out for the Knicks, although I don't know the Anunoby spot's official. I still see a Monday status on it. And the Raptors, I mean, everybody's out for the Raptors. But I guess the way to talk about the Raptors is to talk about who's playing, and it's their G League lineup. So with the floor being laid out like that, LJ, what the hell's going on north of the border tonight? Are they gonna be some fireworks, or are we just gonna see a little rollover beatdown spot?
I think the Knicks roll them. Just because Toronto is very, very horrible in their division. And the fact that they can't score, they're 3-9 to their team total the last 12 games, 8-3 to the under, last 11 at home. I think it's going to be struggles. They're going to struggle to score. I think their team total is 90 something right now. 99.5 is the last time I saw it. So the books are expecting them not even score 100 points, man. And the Knicks, they're 4-0 to their team total in the last 4. They put up 124 the last game versus Detroit at home. So, but like I said, I will lean the under just because both teams, the Knicks 28-10 to the under last 38 games. But I will focus on it early, Mike. And I dove deep into this matchup because, like I said, it is a division game, so these teams know each other. And I'm going to take the Knicks first quarter. minus 4.5. Simply because the Knicks are 6-1 against the spread in the first quarter on the road versus their division since November. 21-11 in the first quarter against the spread on the road overall. So this is where they play their best ball. They've been playing great defense. They're getting some guys back in that lineup. Mitchell Robinson is questionable tonight, so if they get him back, they see even more better because Toronto is so vulnerable on the boards. They cannot rebound. They've been out rebounded their last 5 games on the boards at a plus 14. Last 5 games. Not to mention shooting from the 3-point line, 25% from the 3-point line in their last 5 games. So not only can't score in the paint, they can't even shoot 3-pointers. So Toronto is going to have to struggle tonight to even get their shot off, in my opinion, because I think the Knicks are coming in there. You know, they're going to make a statement. This is a division game. They own this team. And like I mentioned, the Raptors, 9-13 at home versus the East. 3-10 against the spread versus the division. 0-5 straight up at home in their division. 0-11 straight up in their division overall on the season. They have not won a game versus a division team, Mike. So why would that change tonight? It's not. Knicks early. I'll say the trifecta, but I'm not going to give it out on the show. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the full game because I believe they will win by the spread. But let's just jump in. First quarter, minus 4.5. Lock it in for the Knicks.
Gotcha. Yeah, a couple supporting numbers there. The Knicks, they're 12-0 against the spread. This goes back 2 years, right? So as a road favorite of at least 3 points against the East, they're 12-0 against the spread there. So put them on the road as a favorite. They're getting the job done and covering the number. It's a big number, but they're covering it nonetheless and haven't lost against it. Also, another spot that was kind of interesting, your team's off a double-digit win, which we know the Knicks were, or they lost. So they either blew them out or they lost the game outright, and they're a divisional away favorite. They're 58-2, 50-8-2, and they're covering the spread by 9 points. So, you know, this is kind of that time of year when you start to see some of these numbers and you look at it and say, I mean, their books are putting big numbers on them for a reason. We're down to a month and a half or so worth of information. Yep. These books have all that data at their, I swear to the SDQL shit comes right out of the bookmakers and kind of how they put it together. Cause you start seeing some of these games and the way they rotate out and it just makes a lot of sense. But I like the first quarter look. I like getting on them early. The Knicks are playing a game right now, man. They're finding a way to hammer it. They're comfortable in Toronto. They've been beating up the conference opponents as well, top to bottom. LJ, I'm going to take a second to celebrate and congratulate everybody that tailed me on that Seattle spot there. The Red Hawks get the job done, 77-67. Nice. Seattle, we got the first half, the full game. Shout out to Razor. I know he was on the under in that game. I believe it was 150.5 or 150. Doesn't matter. That was a 144. And shout out to C-Mac. He got the first half, and Jimmy the Bag got that first half under as well. So the crew beat the shit out of that 5 o'clock High Point Seattle game, LJ. Good money all around, and shout out and congrats to everybody that made that cash with us. Let's use that to bless our action, and let's transition to the 8 o'clock slate. Got a full NBA card, guys. If you're just getting in, smash the thumbs up button. LJ's made a move on that New York Knicks first quarter, minus 4.5. Peasy says that Clippers minus 6.5 down. I'm still on board with it. 6.5 is the number I locked in as well, Peasy. And North Ender saying 14-4 start for IPFW. Let's go. Let's go. What are they? The Mastodons? The Matadors? I don't care. Let's just get this cash. And let's talk about the Lakers. We got the news tailed into this thing about the AD always disabled opportunity. Street Clothes Davis is what they're calling him around the league here. He opened at 6 with the Lakers minus 6. It's down to 4.5s and now 4s. 33% of the bets, but 79% of the cash have now moved on the Memphis Grizzlies. Mastodons. Thank you, North Ender. Thanks, man. I knew it was there. It was on the tip of my tongue, North Ender. I appreciate you being there to rock and get me situated. Get me straight on that one, North Ender. Appreciate you. 216.5 on the total for this Lakers-Grizzlies game. It's moved 8 points to 224.5 with 67% of the bets, LJ. Some of these swings are so volatile when it comes to kind of what's going on in the market as we look at these games there. And just a quick confirmation, we do look down the lineup. We do see AD's out, Christian Wood's out, Vanderbilt's out, Gabe Vincent's out, Shafino's out, Castleton's out. We look at the Grizzly side of things. It's the G in Grizzly stands for G League, as we know. And what a spot we've got here. Of course, we know the Lakers. Shout out anybody that was hanging out with me last night. We talked about those sons of bitches going out and winning that game. LJ, they were down. What were they down? They were down 14 points, I believe, at halftime. No, 19 points at halftime. And they threw a 14.5 on that spot. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was talking live line on those spots. I talked about them at 21-1 at halftime, the Lakers coming back and winning the game. I finally realized after a couple of cocktails it was plus 550 before I was able to actually click that money line for the Lakers. But they came back, they got it done. Bunch of overtime as well, right? They definitely needed extra time to be able to get the job done. Then we talk about the G League Grizz. They're at home. They're hosting these boys, and they're struggling as well. 128-103 at Denver. This is their first game back, though, after a 4-game trip. You'd expect Denver at altitude, defending NBA champs, to beat up on the Grizzlies. But they did cover 3 of their last 5 games there. The Spurs was a cover for them where they were 6.5-point dogs, and they won outright. Do they have a chance to win outright against this Lakers team? How you attacking?
I was going to attack the under, but I just see that they took this game off the books because I believe it's an injury issue concern.
Yeah.
I guess AD's been ruled out, so I guess they're trying to adjust the line right now. But I'm going to go to the under just because the Lakers coming off a double overtime game last night. Even if AD sits, there's still some players that played a lot last night. Austin Reeves played a lot. D'Angelo Russell played a lot. So I believe eventually LeBron's the only one that's going to be fresh. So he may have a monster game. Look at his assists, of course. I'm going to take it because, he's had 8+ assists, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of the last 13 games since the All-Star break. So that's what LeBron does. He likes to dish the ball. So as soon as those props come back up, I'm going to be on his assists. And I believe the game goes under. Just because Memphis is a heavy trend to the under at home, 23-11-1, right behind New York. And the Lakers are 6-3 to the under in their last 9 games on the road. So they've been trending under as well. Even though the game went over last night, I believe that was an anomaly, just because both teams just couldn't score at the right time. So one team had to eventually win, and I guess the Bucks just ran out of gas and let the Lakers take that game. The Lakers are 16-7 in the last 23 games, so they've been playing very well. But they're on the road. They don't play very well on the road, in my opinion. They play better at home. But Memphis is a team that they shouldn't even really be concerned about. But -4, you know what I'm saying? That number is really, really close. So I don't want to take a chance on that. I just think the game goes under. So I'm going to take the under once the line comes back out. So I don't know what it is official right now, so I can't make it official for the show. But I'm on the under.
So I know you're not. I know you're not using the injury. So many guys last season were like, "Oh, I got to wait for the injury report." Here's the thing about the injury report: if you know teams like the Lakers, AD and LeBron almost never play the same time when they're on the road. I don't say almost never, but there's a lot of times where one's in, the other one's out. Especially when you come to a suspect team like Memphis, where they definitely don't need both the guns running. And you just saw what happened that last game where LeBron sat out. This line moved 8 points to the over. Now it's going to drop back, I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to go back to 222.5 or something like that. We'll see what the number comes out to. But who the fuck was taking this thing over, knowing that these guys – and now you're going to look at it and say, well, they took these guys out. It's baked into the numbers. That's what I say all along. These guys – you should have known one of them wasn't playing. And if you're waited – and I know we're doing it – it's different with what we're doing here, having the conversation about the last call with the numbers. And we got to take the numbers that are in front of us. So that's kind of where we're at. But – at the same time, there was a tremendous opportunity for that under earlier today, especially sitting at 224.5. I jumped in on Memphis. I'm going to go with that plus 4.5 spot. I'm not a huge proponent of this Memphis team. I've caught them in a couple of spots where it fit right, but the one spot that I've been banging away on the Lakers is when they're on short rest or overtime spots. And this one here's a double dipper. When they've got less than 4 days of rest and they're off an overtime win, they're 0-12 against the spread. It's amazing. And then, the other one's kind of the basic when it comes to fading. When you fade the unrested team whose last game was decided by less than a single possession, 35-11. Short rest, tight game, multiple overtimes. Lakers no good on that short rest spot anyways. And across the NBA, we're seeing that makes a lot of sense as well. So I'm jumped in at 4.5. 4s are fine. 3s, it doesn't matter to me. I think the Grizzlies probably win the game outright. At least you want to capture more than a bucket in that spot. And I can't believe it's the deal here. I'm looking at the chat, and I meant to mention this when we were talking about that Golden State game. They're saying Draymond's got ejected already. Fucking guys out of the game. It just started. So I talked to Billy Briz yesterday about this. I said I had heard that there was some discontent across that Golden State lineup there, that Players are fighting with each other. Even the coaches getting involved and arguing and bickering with these guys. I don't know what's going on with that Golden State spot, but did you hear anything about that at all, or did I just catch that off of a whim?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't really been searching for it either, but I wouldn't be surprised. Draymond's a handful, and eventually, you get fed up. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you only can take so much. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's frustrating. Draymond Green's a fucking problem. That's all I'm going to say. Time and again, the beaten players. I mean, everybody here's seen it. You guys are sharp NBA minds. You guys have seen. He's a problem. I'm going to say that right now. Yeah. Let's go on to this next game, though. Here, speaking of problems, what we've seen is OKC Thunder, big favorites, no problem. Small favorites, no problem. Dog spots, no problem. Big comeback yesterday to get the job done on the second end of the back-to-back, hosting the Houston Rockets with a line that opened at 6.5. 43% of the bets, 85% of the cash on the OKC Thunder. Yet this line dropped. We've got 5s and now 4.5. This number continues to drop on this OKC side of things. No visibility into the cash, but we see the bets are 50-50 on the total. As far as the tell, this number's dropped, I guess, about 6 points. When I talk about the tell, I say, well, it's 50-50, but the number's dropped about 6 points to the under since it opened. So despite not seeing where the cash is, we are seeing that this number is dropping in this spot. And we've got this Houston Rockets team that, both, from their perspective, does have a little bit of rest. Their first game on the road. Again, kind of one of those weird sandwich spots that we talked about before. This is their first road game. They just came off of 4 home games out of 5. They had a little Washington Wizards sandwich spot that they handled them boys by 17 points or 18 points, so it didn't matter. OKC, on the other hand of things, though, this is their first game back after a 4 of 5 games on the road. So there's some weird things going on with the scheduling in the NBA right now, but OKC did handle those Pelicans. I mentioned that last night. Big opportunity with some plus money spots there. I grabbed them at 3.5 at the end of the game, and they came back and they covered. They not only did they cover, they came out there and got it done. You look at the score, you would think they were never in trouble, but they were losing at one point. 119-112 in that game, being able to go out there and get the job done. No saying no problem for the Rockets. And then we look and we see SGA is out for the OKC Thunder. So that to me explains what's happening with this line dropping, LJ. Do you agree with that? Do you think it might still be an OKC spot? How are you trying to attack this game?
I'm on my Rockets. I took them early, plus 6.5. I didn't know that Shea was going to be out, but the fact that I saw him get banged up in that New Orleans game, it was a possibility that he was going to probably be hurting and probably rest this game. So I foresaw that last night. So I jumped on the 6.5 early just because the Rockets have been playing very, very good. 11-1 straight up for their last 12 games. I know it's on the road. They play better at home. But like I mentioned with Golden State, I believe the Rockets are trying to get into that playoff. They have a coach that keeps them accountable. This is the best thing the Rockets could have had with this coach because there's none of that lackadaisical slacking on defense, none of that stuff. We're going to continue to play ball. We're going to be locked in. We're going to make the right play. And I see the Rockets doing that. They can get behind and come back and make it a game. So they never give up. They're very scrappy. So I believe they're going to go into OKC today and make it a fight and possibly outright win the game. But I'm just going to take the 6.5 because I believe they will stay in the margin. Shea being out, you never know how OKC responds. I haven't seen them really play without Shea, so I don't know. This will be the first time me watching them tonight, see how they play. But other than that, I'm going to stick to my Rockets. They're on a winning streak. And I'm also going to take their team total over 110.5 just because they've hit that number 11 out of their last 12 games. They've hit 110. So I'm going to keep pressing on that until they show me they can do it. And I'm going to take a shot on them to cover that spread because I believe that number is too high considering Shea's out of the lineup. And why does Oklahoma City really want to win this game? They're already up there at the top. They can worry about Denver and Memphis in their division. But as far as the Rockets, they don't really have to win this game for the most part or even cover the spread. So Rockets plus 6.5. I see it's at 4.5. I endorse that as well. But like I said, I got some, good margin on my numbers. So I got a little window to where I feel safe. So over plus 6.5, plus 4.5 is the show for Shay. And over 110 team total for the Houston Rockets.
Well, I can get you a 5 for the show, so you're still good with 5.
Okay.
Do you think they're still? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Here's the number for anybody that is looking at that Rockets as well. When you got the dog, they lost the last meeting outright, and they got blown out by double digits the previous meeting out there. Third time in the season. So we're going to see some of this coming around the pike now for some of these shitbag teams that have gotten beat up. Double revenge opportunity, one of which was a blowout spot. 35-4-1 against the spread in those spots here for the third time on the season when they're meeting each other. 35-4-1. Tough to beat the same team 3 times in a season is what that number is down to. And you can quantify it by saying, not just is it tough, but 35-4-1. Here's where I love when you're talking about it being a live dog. The margin in those spots is almost 7 points. So when you look at a team that's a 5, you do the simple math on that and say, well, that gives me 2 points on the other side of things. Yeah, they're very much a live dog. And, you can certainly get creative and clever out there. There's, the numbers dropped a lot from opening, but there's plus 160s, plus 155s now. You could have gotten that thing at plus 225 this morning, but nonetheless, that's kind of a way. Now it's 4-0 now in that Ottawa game. Let's go. Let's go, you guys. We're having ourselves a day, LJ. It's been a lot of fun. We double whacked that Seattle game. We got IPFWs up right now. We took the Ottawa Senators at a plus 1. I forgot what it was, 120. Guys, you can help me there. They're up 4-0, and then we've got Tampa Bay about to pop off. So we're enjoying the life right now, LJ. Things are moving in the right direction for us here. But I'm not sure about this next game as far as direction. Here's some difficulty with this Detroit Pistons and Minnesota Timberwolves. Monster number here. It opened at 17. Now, 19% of the bets, but 68% of the cash took this Detroit Pistons team. Just with the simple, I got to believe it's just there's too many points at that point is what they're thinking. This number's dropped now almost 2 full points depending on the market. The total's climbing. 211 is up to 216.5. It's 50-50 on the bets, but 66% of the cash is driving on this over. I can kind of see that. It makes sense to me when you think about the dog. If the dog's going to cover, it should go over. Albeit, this is almost a 20-point spread. Do the Minnesota Timberwolves have it in them to win this thing by 20, LJ? We got this Pistons team. Doesn't matter, it seems like how many points you give the Pistons. They still can't find a way to cover either. And, we know that kind of Cade Cunningham, he's questionable. They made some moves with that Simone Fontecchio guy. I'm a big fan of him. His rebounding, his assist numbers have been great, but he's out of this thing as well. Really a mash unit across the Pistons. Taj Gibson's out. Isaiah Stewart's out. Cade's questionable. Quentin Grimes is out. Jaden Ivey's questionable. Fontecchio's out. Stanley, is that Amude? I can't even say that. He's out. Again, who's in? Who's probable is Marcus Sasser. He's probable tonight in this game. And then, of course, on the other side of things, we see Rudy Gobert is questionable. Anthony Edwards is questionable. Cat's out. Jalen Clark's out. LJ, what say you with this game here? This is a shitload of points. I have got nothing written down for this game. It didn't make my radar. I was thinking about the points when I first glanced at it, but I don't want to trust Minnesota to have to win by 20. What do you think about that?
I agree with you. And I don't see why they would want to win by that because they should have no interest in this game. But like I said, you never know with these teams, Mike. But I have a couple props in the game for the most part, but I just stayed off the Wolves. Like I said, I like them more versus their conference than going against a cross-conference team. In Detroit, getting some guys back. They're getting Cade back, I believe. Duran is coming back as well, I believe. Yeah, so they'll get some guys back. So, and Detroit, they're kind of feisty, man. And I don't want to step in front of that for the most part. I don't want to, say that they're not going to cover the spread. They are 2-9 on the road versus the West, so they don't play very well in that spot. But hey, who's to say that Minnesota, can have a lackluster game, misses some shots, and keep Detroit within that margin? So I wouldn't be surprised. So I just stick to the props in this game. First, I'm going to take Cade Cunningham. I'm going to take his over 6.5 assists. I got it at minus 103. He's averaging 8.5 assists his last 6 games versus the West. And he's averaging 8.5 assists on the season. He's top 5 in assists at the point guard position. So he's always going to be hovering around that 7.5, 8 assists a game. So the fact that Duran's coming back, I think that gives him a little bit more options to go over that number. He likes to dish the ball. He's a facilitator on their team. Plus, Minnesota allows the 3rd most assists in the point guard position. So I believe Cade Cunningham can get that 7 assists. So I'm going to take that. And I'm going to take Anthony Edwards, man. I'm going to take his over. Well, I'm gonna do it like this because I was looking at his threes. Because the Minnesota, their last 3 games at home, they're averaging 46% from the 3-point line. So they're hitting that shot. And I know Anthony Edwards is contributing to a couple of those threes. He's hit two. He's had two out of his last 3 games. Over, 2.5 threes. He had 3 the last game he played Detroit earlier in the season. So I looked it up. It was over 2.5 threes at minus 130. I was like, let me see if I get that juice down a little bit. So you know how I do it. How about we go to the player doubles and let's just take 3+ threes for Anthony Edwards and Minnesota to win the game and minus 118, and we'll just lock it in right there because I believe Minnesota will the game. They're 20-3 versus teams below 500, and I don't see them having any issues with Detroit tonight. Now, the reason why I'm not going to take the spread is because I looked up Minnesota's only 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 home games, laying double digits. So Detroit can stay within that margin, but Wolves could, they should win the game. So let's just stick to Ant over 2.5 threes plus Minnesota to win minus 118 and Cade Cunningham over 6.5 assists minus 103.
I like it. I think it's great action. I like the way you took the juice right out of there. You guys know, you've heard me say it before. Clever way to get out there. We don't just have to lay big numbers, try to find some creative ways to knock that juice down. I think you got that one right. And then funny is, right as you said, Anthony Edwards, I got the Fantasy Lab update that he is available to play. So I always believe in the signs. You started talking about it. It popped up. I think it's a great sign. And let's roll on there. Our guy LJ's got the Cade Cunningham over 6.5 assists minus 103. Anthony Edwards over 3+ threes, and Minnesota to win the game at minus 118. So love the action. I do have some action in this next game here. This 8 p.m. spot for us. Last 8 p.m. game, then we start to move out towards the west. We've got the Pacers and the Bulls. This line open at 2.5, 77% of the bets, 83% of the cash. Surprisingly, there's still a couple 2.5s, but we are starting to see some threes. And the number's climbing. 232.5 has moved up to 235. We have 59% of the bets and 67% of the cash. So the bigger money coming in on this over as well. LJ, the Pacers and the Bulls here. Interesting little opportunity. We've seen some hit or miss spots. Siakam, for me, in the rebounds was the go-to opportunity of the lifetime. He kind of fell short there in that last game. He fell way flat on me. But we do have the Pacers 3-1 in their last 4, both straight up and against the spread. And the Bulls, on the other hand, kind of struggling. They're 0-3 in their last 3. They're 0-4 against the spread in their last 4. They barely were able to beat that Portland team 110-107 on their home court. They took a quick road trip down to Houston, got bludgeoned. They got beat up by Boston. They lost outright as 13-point favorites to the Washington Wizards, 107-105. Now they come back home to host this Pacers team. What's going on for this game, my guy? Help me make sense of this one.
Yeah, I didn't really come to none in this one just because I don't like the spot that the Pacers are in. 3 games of 4 nights. I believe that's where they're at. And like you just mentioned, the Bulls haven't been playing very well. They're 10-12 at home versus the East, 3-4 at home versus the division. So they haven't been playing well in this spot. Now, if you want to look at the Pacers, I'll give you some numbers for the Pacers that may want you to talk you onto them for us. Like, first of all, they're 3-8 on the road versus the East. They're 5-1 straight up on the road versus their division, and they're 11-4 against the spread versus the division overall. So if you want to take a shot on that, mind you, the Pacers are also 11-4-1 against the spread versus bottom 5 teams in defensive efficiency. So Bulls don't play any defense. Pacers, play well versus those teams. One more, 17-7-2 against the spread versus the bottom 10 with teams that commit turnovers. So Bulls turn the ball over a lot. Pacers take advantage of those teams. So if you want to trust the Pacers to come out and win this game, I wouldn't be mad at you. I just stayed off. I was looking at DeRozan's assists, over 4.5 assists. He's hit that 4 out of his last 5 games, but I stayed off of that as well because I just believe I got too much action going on, and I don't want to, ruin the night by taking a prop that I don't really track. I've just seen it a couple of times, past 3 games, he's hit that. So, but other than that, I stayed away because I just don't like the situation that the Pacers are in. Like, if it wasn't that situation, I would be all on them because this is a division game. These teams know each other. But the fact that the Pacers on 3 games of 4 nights, I just had to stay away because I don't know how much energy they're going to have, to take down the Bulls.
Well, we got some great conversation going on here via the chat there. Rob Morant says Lakers win, ? With AD out. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a Memphis spot. We'll see what happens there. Dana Duff says they took Cade off the board at DraftKings here just a couple minutes ago. And the Warriors look like with no Draymond, no problem here, 21-9. Wine Time likes the Bulls. Leonard Porsche is asking, did LJ or Mike have a play on the Wizards game? Looks like a live under spot there. I think we were
we passed.
Yeah, I think we passed on that one. There was no love to be had there. And then we see Wine Time, downplays commenting on Wine Time's balls. So that's a good thing. Kelsey says the Warriors jumping up fast. Gerardo Hernandez, there's our guy G. Says Grizzlies plus the points. I like it there. Leonard says, let's get the 100 likes for Mike and LJ. You guys hit that thumbs up. Give us the support. I'm going to drop this one on you guys. So, LJ, you talked about this Pacers, some of the trends there for the Pacers. Great opportunity when they're avenging the loss the last time they played, and they're a small favorite at 3 points or less. 33-2 if they're on the road in those spots. So they go on the road, they get a small number. They're trying to avenge the loss or rematch. 33-2 in those spots. And they're winning by almost 8 points a game against the spread. So suggest a double-digit wins for the Pacers. But the spot that I jumped in on is the under. Now that this thing's moved up and I see 234, now the 235 is starting to come back down a little bit. So I see a 235. I see it's at minus 112 over there on DraftKings. It's an intersecting zero spot for me. Great opportunity when you've got a home team against the conference with short rest that covered their last meeting. The Bulls are 13-0 in that spot, specific to the Bulls. And the Pacers, when they're on the road with a low number meaning less than 247. Pretty straightforward. You're playing the conference, you're on the road with a number under 247. They're 7-0 to the under. What makes most sense for me about that one is when the books think it's going to be a score fest, it ends up being a score fest. But the fact that they're pivoting under that 247 here says everything I need. I'm getting the extra 2.5 points in my back pocket as well. So official show play for me will be the Indiana-Chicago game under 235, LJ. Take it a low scoring spot. Take it a little stab at it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I like it. They're 21-6 to the under, last 27 on the road. So I like that play.
Well, let's roll on, you guys. We've got just a couple of games left on the card, and we will get everybody out of here. In fact, 9 p.m. Eastern, the big battle royale where we've got the San Antonio Spurs going on the road to the Utah Jazz, a line that opened at -1. Has shot up to 4.5. 77% of the bets, 90% of the cash on the Utah Jazz, the home Jazz, mind you. And the totals dropped from 230.5 to 228.5. No cash flow, but we do see the bets. We see 58% of the bets on the under in this game. Spurs, we were down there in Southtown. The boys went there. Jeff Slaughter, I know Nasty Nate, the squad, Big Show, got to go live in person to see that Spurs game. It was the back-to-back spot there for the Phoenix Suns. They picked up the win, 104-102. My guess is the Suns didn't give a shit after beating them up 131-106. They just kind of phoned that one in. And the Utah Jazz, speaking of not giving a shit, 0-5 their last 5 games. It's their second home game. They just lost to Dallas 115-105. They're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5, only covering at OKC when they were getting 15.5 points. LJ, we look at the rosters and the configuration here. We know Wemby's questionable. Keldon Johnson's questionable. On the Jazz side of things, Jordan Clarkson's out and Chris Dunn is out as well. What say you here? What do we have? Do we have action in this game? I think I do. I want to hear your breakdown before I officially pull the trigger. The floor is yours, my guy. The Southtown Warriors have some magic on the Spurs side of things.
No, I don't have any action in this one. It's just 2 teams that I'm not interested in. They're at the bottom of the league. So I will lead under just because the Spurs are 27-1 to the under in their last 28 games. And Utah, even though they're coming back home, where they scored the most points, they've been trending low to their team total as well. 1-5 to their under last 6. And mind you, their record, they're 3-17 in their last 20 games. Straight up is the Utah Jazz. So both of these teams are ass. Like I said, I'm not interested. If Wemby's questionable, you always can jump on some props with him, his blocks, rebounds, for the most part. But other than that, I see no advantage in this game. The Jazz, I think they're tanking. They play marketing some nights. They sit them. Their lineup is probably different every single night. And like I said, the Spurs are young. They turn the ball over a lot. So I can't invest in any of those teams that, are just sloppy with the basketball and not great offensively. So I definitely passed in this game.
Well, I double dipped this game. Maybe this is the 1-800-GAMBLER special for me, but this really doesn't have anything to do with that last game I saw with the Spurs. I discount that with the Phoenix Suns. I think they might know that too, but it's always nice to catch a win and take a little bit of that pressure kind of off the situation, which is what I feel like they did there. The Jazz, the home Jazz isn't what it's been in kind of past, and I think we have an opportunity to catch this Jazz team just in a sleepy spot here tonight. And look, the same trend applies from Houston here. The dog who lost the last meeting outright and the previous one by double digits, third time in the season trend, 35-4-1. I'm going to land on the Spurs team plus 4.5, but I double dipped it too because the margin in the first half is actually bigger than the full game for me. So I got the first half plus 2.5. I got the full game plus 4.5. You want another one? I'll give it to you. Road Dogs between a +3 and a +7. Coming off a home loss are 18-1-1 if they have rest in that spot. Now, I know they're coming off the win, but it was a 2-point win. So, for me, I just think it's a good opportunity for us to take advantage here after trying to avenge the loss again that 3 times in the same season spot seems to be so difficult to attain there. And I don't think the Utah Jazz are one of those teams that can say, trends be damned, they're going to find a way to get it done here. I get the points in my back pocket. I think the Spurs are live dogs. I'm going to go plus 2.5 first half, plus 4.5 full game. Not my absolute favorite. I just got to go by the X's and O's there, and it just tells me that the numbers are enough to support too many points for the Jazz. I think the Spurs, I wouldn't even be surprised. I actually thought about taking the Jazz first half money line and then the 4.5, thinking I could try to turn it into 2.5 units because it was sitting at plus 150 for the first half. But as I sat back at it, I said, you know what? I don't need to be greedy. Let me just get my 2 units on this game here. First half plus 2.5, full game plus 4.5 for me, LJ. Let's close the show up here. We've got the last one is a big one, a big game. The Phoenix Suns on the road to Denver, playing them Nuggets, the reigning NBA champs, with a line on the move. 2.5 points, as a matter of fact, against the Phoenix Suns. 53% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the Denver Nuggets. We got the totals really not doing much. 77% of the bets on the over, but hasn't moved. We saw the Suns I just talked about it with that Spurs game. Were they in the look-ahead spot with this Nuggets team on deck? I'd be. This team's red hot. They won 4 games in a row. Memphis at home, Portland, Knicks, Minnesota, some road games mixed in there, but just 2-2 against the spread. Are we sitting too many numbers in this game, or is there an opportunity? Can the Suns do anything here to compete with these guys? We know what happened there with that Wemby spot. But again, that was the second time in a row, same location, bad spot for the Phoenix Suns in the look ahead to Denver. LJ, I'm stuttering to speak here, but what I was going to say is, does Joker go out there and do Joker things with the triple-double? Does KD find a way to get some points? What's going on with this game? Tell it to us. How's this game breaking out?
Yeah, very, very interesting game right here. And we have another revenge situation because Phoenix just beat Denver a couple weeks ago in Denver, which gave Denver, I think that's their only loss. Well, they lost to Dallas too. So they've lost to Dallas and they lost to the Suns since the All-Star break. Because Denver is 15-5 in their last 20 games, 11-2 since the All-Star break. So yeah, those were the 2 losses, the Suns and Dallas. So Denver's been, they've been a wagon, man. They just been mowing over people since they coming out of the All-Star break. I heard a story that Jokic got with his team during All-Star weekend. They were like, hey, man, it's go time now. So he texted the whole team, let them know that it's all about business in the second part of the season. So Denver's been showing it. Now, as far as this game, I have to make sure that Jamal Murray and Jokic. I know Jokic is probably going to play, but I need to know if Jamal Murray's going to play. If Jamal Murray is in that lineup, I'm all on Denver. Just because I believe Beal or Nurkic, one of them are not going to play. Most likely it's going to be Nurkic. Or, like I said, it could be Beal too. One of them are not going to play. Because my theory is that Booker didn't play that last game in Denver because he had sprained his ankle versus that Rockets game a couple of games before that. So I believe the Suns are going to afford to sit one of those players that's dealing with an injury because they have Booker in the lineup now. So far as that, like I said, I have to wait on this game. I haven't bet anything, but I'm going to bet as soon as I see that Jamal Murray in this lineup, I'm betting Denver first quarter. Everybody knows that's one of the biggest trends. I always say 17-4 against the spread in the first quarter at home versus the West. 10-4 against the spread in the first half at home, first half overall in the last 14. So not only have they been hitting the first quarter, they've been hitting the first half. So Denver's been playing good ball, man. And I believe that they're going to be looking at to take down the Suns and some numbers to where I can't trust the Suns, Mike. This is the two reasons why I can't trust the Suns: rebounding and turnovers. The Suns allow 15 turnovers a game, Mike, which is bottom three in the NBA. 8 out of their last 10 games, Mike, they've had 14 plus turnovers. And you know what Denver likes to do against teams that turn the ball over? They like to smack them up because they're top five versus teams that give up a lot of turnovers. So I don't think the Suns going to be able to compete. I think Denver's going to be primed to take advantage of those deficiencies that the Suns have. Rebounding as well. They give up a lot of offensive rebounds. So I believe Denver's going to be crashing the boards, getting a lot of second chance opportunities. So I'm on Denver, but like I said, I haven't bet it because I need to make sure that Jamal Murray's in the lineup. But I'm going to be on a triple double with Jokic as well. I do all that. Those are situations that I'm always going to bet. And I'm going to take a shot on Devin Booker's over 37.5 PRA. I got it at minus 120. He's hit this number 5 out of his last 6 games. He's hit it 5 out of the last 6 games versus Denver. And he's hit it 4 out of his last 4 games on the road. And like I mentioned, he didn't play that last game versus Denver. So I believe he's going to come out. He likes to show out in the first quarter. He plays the whole first quarter. So he may give you about 10, 12 points in the first quarter, give you some rebounds and assists. Because I believe possibly Bill is going to be out. He gives those assists on that team. So Booker's going to have to make up to facilitate on that team. But it's going to be a hard battle tonight. Denver's a tough team. We already know they're gunning for that number 1 seed. So the Suns they're going to have trouble tonight. And like I said, 4-14 against the spread versus top 10 teams with turnover efficiency. So all those categories point to Denver. But I haven't bet it yet because I need to wait till Jamal Murray's in the lineup. So that's how I'm looking at this game.
Now, are you going official with the Booker PRA? Or
yes, I'm going official with that. Yeah, I'm going official with that. Over 37.5 PRA. Minus 120 is what I got it.
Man, I'll tell you, I see the Joker triple double sitting there at like plus 230s right now. Actually, it's dropped a little bit to plus 210, but it's not a bad number. We saw him the other night. He got one at plus 350 or something like that. There might be that opportunity to pick up a double to one there, 2 to 1 spot. So, but just Booker right now, just Booker over 37.5 PRA minus 120.
Yeah, because they're still game time decision. So. But like I said, I'm going to tweet it out. I'm going to make it official. Once I see it, I'm going to text you, send it to you so you can put it on my record. But I'm just waiting to get those guys officially ruled in.
Sounds good, my guy, LJ. This is the last leg of the 3-leg parlay for me there. I saw some numbers saying that maybe our Claxton rebounds needs a little work, but I went with the Grayson Allen over 2.5 threes as the third leg of the 3-leg player prop parlay out there. He was so consistent with this number over a 9-game stretch. They moved him to 3.5. Of course, what happens when the books finally get wise and they move him up? They shit the bed. 2 bad games. They drop them back to 2.5 again. But like I said, in those games that he was crushing it from 3, he had 3, 9, 6, 3, 4, 4. There was a 0 in there, but then back-to-back 8s. That's a 3-point machine. They go out there, they D up on KD, they D up on Booker, they D up on all these other guys, and they kick the ball back, and guess who's there? It's our guy, Grayson Allen. So am I 2.5 threes right now? If you wanted to take that standalone, it's still even money. It's still a great opportunity, I think, to take advantage of that thing. If the parlay falls flat, great opportunity to hit that thing. So looking forward to watching the card work its way out tonight, LJ. We got through it. We had a long one today, man. We did it. We had some great content, great breakdowns. You did a great job coming prepared as always. I would expect no less, and I expect you to get that cash tonight, LJ. Always much love. Appreciate you coming in here on Wednesdays. I know you're taking time out of your personal life to put all these numbers together for us and help us out with how you're trying to get paid and sharing with everybody else. So very much appreciate that. Tell them what's working for you here. I know you got some big things coming up here, getting on with betting with the bag and such as well. What's going on in the world of LJ from H-Town?
Hey, man, just, sticking with it, man, putting the work in, trying to get this cash. Like I said, I like to, give my theories, give my trends. I just love the community, man. Like I said, it was love meeting you this weekend, at Palooza, man. We had a lot of fun. made some money, and I just love the camaraderie of all of us just sitting around talking out plays, giving suggestions, and it's different sports too. I love how we could go to each person to give a different perspective on each sport. It's not just one sport. That's what I love about it. I wish I could do it every day, man. I love being around guys like that, making money, just having fun, enjoying what we do. So, yeah, man, just continue to work hard. Let's keep getting this money. Catch me on any shows on Pub. Like I say, anytime people want to come on, I don't know if they're doing all about the hoops tonight. If they are, I'm going to jump on with my man Billy. If you're going to be on as well, I'll jump on with y'all. But, yeah, just love doing this on screen with you, Mike, every Wednesday. Looking forward to making some money, man, and showing the people how we look at these games and showing them how to get some money, man. I love doing it, so appreciate you and love being on here with you. So hopefully we can do it again next Wednesday.
Yeah, man. Let's go. Let's get that money. LJ from H-Town. Real treat to have him come out there, guys. Appreciate the time that he spends with us because it's a lot of work breaking down a monster card like that. There's going to be some pass games because there just has to be. There's no sense in pushing it, but love the creativity to turn those numbers into some really positive spots. So appreciate all the work you do for us and with us, LJ. I always love having you here Wednesdays. And let's go stack that cash tonight. Let's get this thing up out here. Let's put the bow on this. Get everybody on to the rest of their night. So, again, it was a long one today, but a great content, great show with breakdown across the entire NBA card, guys. Shout out North Ender, Kelsey, Oldie, JPZ, Joey Harb in the house, Leonard Porsche, North Ender, Michael Nelson. I threw the 3 legs down there in the chat. Dan, my guy, 29 up in there. Of course, Kelly V sharing her looks with us as well. Panger Life. 97 says Suns plus 7.5. I don't believe I've seen Panger Life in the chat before. It's great to see you sharing your looks with us, my guy. Appreciate you rocking, getting after it. Don Play back in the house as well, guys. Nunya, Flea Mathis, Zane Cole. I'd shout everybody out, but we've already been running hard, man. Hit that like button on your way out the door. Get that cash and stay popping, baby. We'll see you guys tomorrow.